We are
deep.
going, yeah, we're really traveling fast. The, the stars just swoosh by us. So we are going to this 11th dimension moon together. So we are just playing and having fun while we travel. It's beautiful here,
Very good.
really nice.
Now I'd like for you and Maya.
Yeah, we are arriving to this moon and just settle down on the surface. This is the moon we have visited several times before in the 11th dimension.
Very nice.
Coming to,
Very nice.
there are other entities coming and greeting us, and all is they're hugging us. It feels nice. All is happy and smiling. Yeah.
So you have now arrived in the 11th dimension. And where have you arrived at in the 11th dimension?
On this moon I visited before.
Ah, the moon.
Yes.
And can you see the planet as well?
Yes. I see it, and it's really shiny with this aura around that big planet.
Is there a reason why Maya showed up before I was finished with the entire induction? Or you were just under as soon as I got you protected?
She came and picked me up. She just took my hand and we went off.
Were you able to to experience the pyramid?
Yes. I'm still carrying it with me as an energy field around me.
Oh, very good.
So I got all that, but I was quick.
Understood.
Yes.
And what does your form look like?
I'm looking at myself and I just, it's like I'm in an energetic form. I have a shape, but no outlining or anything. Like I cannot distinguish my feet or legs from the other energy around me.
And what about Maya's form? How was that?
She's showing up as I have seen her before. She's so pretty, so sweet.
Oh, very good.
But she is
And
also very shiny, so I think she just took that form when she picked me up, so I shouldn't wonder who it was. She acknowledged herself directly to me.
very nice. And who are all these who have gathered to greet you?
There are many here now that are going to manifest to other places and to Gaia and to other celestial bodies also. They are going to go in with this higher frequency and dimension to help people transcend and release all low density they're keeping on to.
The last time that we came together, Ka came to pick you up.
Yeah.
Or you actually, or Sandra picked you up to take you, and you ended up with Ka.
Yes.
Where was Maya then? Just curious.
She said I was here. I'm always with you.
Oh, very good. And what about Augustine and Isabel? Are they there as well?
Maya say sure they are, but I can't see them. But they always here when you're doing this.
Well, I'd like them actually to come forward if they will.
Yes. Yes, they're coming.
Are they coming as one or coming in two forms?
They first that one, but they separated now, so there are two different vibrations.
Oh, very good. And I just, out of curiosity, do they know what my concerns are right now? Maya, not Maya, well, even Maya, but Augustine and Isabel.
They say that there are many concerns.
But do they don't know what my concerns about these sessions that we're doing are?
They don't say anything.
And what about Maya? Nothing at all.
Why do you have any concern at all? Is the message I get.
Well, I have a series of questions unless they had something to share first.
The suspicious in human nature is just holding you down, holding you to low vibration, so it's good if you can release that. It's have the same effect that fear can have.
Is that how they interpret what I'm thinking? Or that's just their interpretation of what they think I may be thinking?
It was just that message they gave to me.
Okay. So, my
Suspicious is not good.
my
Maya saying to me, suspicious is not good.
my first thought is it possible to change your contract, or we're going to use the word contract for lack of a better word, or the mission that we chose, or our intentions and reasons for coming to the planet, and not like the overall mission or what the reason, such as helping the planet in the process, but the particulars.
Yes, you can always change your mind, so to say, but because you have the free will, if you want to go through with this mission, you post upon yourself, but you can step out of that and say, no, I want to do something else, or I will stop with this now. And they will step in others, other energy to do the thing that you don't finish. And so it will always be in balance anyway.
And where will that other energy step into? To someone else, or will someone else be born, or?
It can be that, but mostly on an energetic level to balance up the energy that is flowing through this plan and timeline, they say.
Okay, very good. And so, say for instance, like we were speaking about dying and the physical body dying in our last session. Lars and I, we were having that conversation, and we were going into a lot of details about if a person decided to, we know there's no accidents, there's no mistakes, and but someone may decide to change the contract. Is it possible to this is a concept I've heard, and I've heard it a long time ago. I just have never brought it up. But there's this whole series of questions will totally make sense, I promise, when I finish it out. Um, is it possible to change? Uh, like we have guardians and we have guides, and then we have our higher aspects. So, say for instance, at one point, Augustine, they said he was my ultimate guardian,
Yes.
and but at the same time, he's a higher as he and Isabel are the higher aspect of myself. Um,
Yes. They share they show me a picture of working, but not in that way. They share. They are guide. They are also teacher. Uh, when you do different tasks here, they are there to assist you with what you focus on just in that moment. So they can
okay,
take whatever form they want. So if you're uh, writing, they assist you with that. If you try to give healing to others, they assist you with that. Whatever you focus on, they are there
okay.
for you.
You just say give healing, is that correct?
Yes.
Heal. Okay, and so as is it, but both of their energies combined uh, literally focus their energy into what's considered Henry or Hank to manifest as me and as one. Is that correct?
Yes, and also to reconnect to what you truly you are. Because, as you say, you are a soul, you are not a body. This is just a vessel you take on when you manifest to be able to do this, to go through this experience you have decided to go through.
Understood. And is it normal or natural that more than one energy has come together to manifest as one particular soul in this incarnation?
Yes, but you can still divide up in different kind of work. But and when you change your attention, which is the inner truth of you, when you focus on healing, you have another vibration and another energy. When you focus on teaching, you have a totally different frequency, and so. But they are all connected. They are, but there are different aspects of you, and even aspect of your higher self. But
I
they,
I I the name Isabel and Augustine. Well, Isabel's name, well, both of them, their names kept coming up in the very beginning when I started to do this process, and when I started to do uh, when I started to actually do QHHT, not when I started doing regression back when I was younger, but. And they just kept coming forward, and then of course that's how I found out who. I mean, I had a reference point, a name, two names of two entities that have combined their energy to manifest as me, and I would be your avatar, sort of speak. Is that correct?
yes, and
Okay.
we take these labels for you to reconnect. But what we are for you is aspect of your entity, your soul. We are parts of your soul, but we are also one. But as we present us sometimes for when you're doing this kind of work, we present ourselves as like separate being, individual being, but we're not. We're just one entity, but different aspects of that entity. Just like you can have different personality when you're manifested. You can be energetic, you can be slow, you can be knowledgeable, you can have easy for study in school, or different aspect of your personality. And that is in that way also here, but we have no boundaries. So it's all floating together as one.
I understand that, and so Is there, okay, so with that said, we always uh, put labels on everything, and we have the higher self, of course, which I would consider both of them my higher self. And then we have the label of guardian, and then we have the label of guide and fairy godmother and all these different things. Are they all the same?
Yes. And they're showing me now their true energies, and they're showing up just like light and feelings. Create a lot of feelings inside of me, and they show me that they have different purposes when they're helping you. Isabel is more the it's more the one that make you go forward, pushing you a little bit. The other energy is there for heal you, take care of you, like a motherly energy for a little child. It's the same feeling as nurturing him and guarding you. And they divide this between them, but they're doing it together also at the same time. So, because you are now here in this density, focusing as a singular being, but you are aware of your connection to the collective, and they help you to reconnect to that collective every day in every moment when you focus on that. When you're doing massage, they're helping you with the. It's done when you do the most of your healing, but you also do healing with your writings and your paintings. The paintings healing not only you, but others that can connect to it. Your writing healing a lot of people that connect to it. And when you're focusing on doing this thing, they have different parts in that for you as being manifested here now.
And that's understood, and I'm very thankful for that. And with that thought said, are there others? Is there other energies? Which one? I know there are some people. Some people I have, and I'm asking these questions not just for me, because I think just by you explaining how your connection to me, we have a lot more people who are listening to what's going on now, and I know some of them, they can go back and find some of this information. And but Lars has such a great connection, and he's now able to explain things so well. So we're sort of rehashing a little bit here, and so
We also want to clarify that when you're manifesting here, you manifest as a collective to different societies. So you manifest together with, some of you call it soul friends or twin.
flames, soulmate checks.
Yes. So you have them surrounding you even in your daily life, in your manifestation. Hank has Eddie that manifested with him in the desire to. They do different work, but they are still aspect of each other. Hank is an aspect of Eddie, and Eddie is an aspect of. It's just a different energy, just a different vibration. It's like when you're tuning a radio into the station. You are aware of there is 100 station around that, but when you're focusing, that is when you connect to this different level of vibration and energies. So you have them around you, you have had them around you. A child, it can be your parents, your siblings, or whatever, they are here, and they are a part of you, and you are a part of them. It's very important to remember this, that nothing is happening by accident or by it's meant to be, because you have already.
Coincidence.
Yeah, you have, yes, exactly. You have already decided to do this. And you can decide to do it all over, but you can also change roles in the manifestation. You can become almost like your father or your likeness of your father or mother and take that kind of energy they come here with to express and to learn of also, of course. So
Excellent.
you are a big society connected together. In the end, we are all connected, but you're surrounding with the right energy that you need, and they are all aspect of your inner soul.
Well, I can really feel like now, even though when I ask originally, do they know what's on my mind? And I feel like a real connection has now been made because without me even asking, you just literally answer what I was going to ask about all the people that are surrounding myself. And you said, and you just broke it down really nicely, and I'm really grateful for that. And it's not just for me. This is all for all of us here on the planet. When we go into these sessions, and like the last session I did, and they go, "Man, you have all these people around you, or all these entities that are around you," and I'm like, "Okay." And so here you say
Everyone
it's
has
Eddie,
that.
it's my I have five brothers and three sisters, and my parents, and uh,
Yes.
okay,
They
and
all are part of you, they're all a part of your journey, they're all a part of your manifestation and what you had set your mind to experience when you come into this density. You are cooperating together very closely, and everyone manifested on your planet has the same thing, but it's your society that has, and the programs that are running that are making you feeling maybe sometimes lonely and singular, but you never are. You never are that at all. You're always connected, but you can turn that off and not uh, reconnect to that purpose that you came in here with. So that's why we sometimes say to you that it's so important to understand that you're also much more than this vessel you're in, your body, or you're also much more than your work or your title or anything like that. That is just experience you experiencing here and now. That's just small part of what you bring back into this big swimming pool.
well, that's always been my main goal for that. What you just said literally has really been my main goal for posting these sessions so people can see that they're so much more than what they thought they were. That is almost like I feel like one of my missions to let people know you're so much more than what you think you are.
Yes.
And I really think that by me asking these questions about myself right now, especially about my higher self, and it's just going to help a lot of people to be able to relate to exactly what's been said, because I don't think it just pertains to me. There it is.
It's
Um,
for everyone. All questions, all answer is for every being on your planet and every entity in this universe. So there's nothing that are separated from anything. It's really important to remember this. So what you focus on is resonating through all of this universe you are reciting in now. Uh, it does not that easily travel over to the other universes because they are vibrating in different frequencies. So it's like trying to get in a radio channel that not really are reachable for your uh, receiver to do. So, but we try to explain this very thorough because even if you ask as a singular being, as the being of Hank, ask question about me or the singular, it's also important for everyone else to understand that this is also for them to understand how they are related to everything else, all living energy in this universe.
Understood. And so here's my next question, still pertaining and running along these lines. As we're here physically manifest, it is possible for us to call on other guides and say, for instance, if like when I was teaching my student, and I was like, man, I really like to have some education angels. That's for lack of a better word, education angels or light entities to come in and help me with whatever I need to teach these particular classes. Is it we can? And of course, I'm just assuming that anyone that will come in is still going to be an aspect of myself because we're all one. But we can call out uh, for assistance
Yes, you
from the
can.
higher. Okay.
Yes, you can. You can have that attention uh, for the good of outside yourself as an ego. So usually when you're asking for that, is Augustine stepping in, that energy of Augustine stepping in, and Isabel is there also guiding you in the way you're tutoring, in the way you put it, because she can see what this other entity or your student is in need of to connect with, to be able to take what you tell this person, to take that into their inner self. So they are always there, and you can. Sometimes we can say as this. Maybe they are busy otherwhere, but you will always be heard when your attention and your heart is set to the right frequency. If you're asking and praying for a benefit for your ego, no, that's not going to happen. You can manifest it yourself if you want to, but we have passed through that now. It's time to reconnect collectively. It's very important, reconnect. So if you now have your attention to, I want a new shiny golden car on my driveway, you're not going to have that because your attention not in the right frequency, in the right direction. If you instead have the intention of, I need a car to help people to do this or that, then you're going to have the car. So
That makes sense, and that we covered that, and that always appreciative to when it's reiterated. So here's my next question. Then, in these sessions that we do, is it possible for the person who's induced to answer in about information that's beyond their concept?
when they're channeling, yes.
It is possible. I
Yes,
mean, Lars and
they
the
can,
last.
yeah, they can channeling the messages, but sometimes if they're outside their own abilities as an entity, it can be hard for them to put words to what they get. They can still feel the feelings and see the image, but it's maybe hard for them to
Interpret.
interpret. Not maybe interpret. They can understand what they feel, but they can't make you understand what they feel. If you
No,
know,
well, that's understood. Well, say for instance, we asked about RH blood,
yes,
and he went into a whole thing about RH blood, and Lars knew nothing about that for at all. And then
yes,
he went back and he looked it up about, and then he was surprised that wow, everything that he said went right along with what the information was that he found,
yes,
because I guess he had the vocabulary to be able to describe what
yes,
he was asking.
yeah.
Is As you're connecting with Lars right now, are you is everything in images and images and symbols, or is there a telepathy, a verbal telepathy where you're speaking in his language that he can understand what you're saying? And he
It's a little bit of all. He got many images that he set word to. He also gets Maya talking to me with
Okay.
words, but she talks to me in Swedish. So he tried to interpret that or translate it into other languages sometimes. So, but it can be 50-50.
Okay. And whenever I feel like, and I know it's 9 times out of 10 when we're having these sessions that I may not understand, or you answer, like Maya gives an answer, Lars interprets it, and then, but he's only interpreting what she's saying, or in the best that he can in English, and I may misunderstand it. Is that feeling that when I'm getting that feeling, and I reiterate again, I know Lars says he really likes when I do that because it really helps.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good thing because you're helping him to interpret it also by putting that attention into reinterpret the answer sometimes because he wants it to be as clear as possible, but he can't do anything else than translate what we say to him or what we show him. But sometimes when we show some things, it's also for you to take in that even if you don't understand it for the moment, there is maybe not another answer for you that is better. It's the answer that you need now. But it's good when you're re-editing the question sometimes because it's helping him to easier interpret it and find. And we try to help him with the translation, but sometimes some words are not existing in your language in the same way it's existing in his language. So he tried to find a synonym for it.
Understood.
So that can
And
be misinterpreted sometimes.
well, I just wanted to make it clear also as there wasn't. You used the adjective suspicion. It's not that I was suspicious about the sessions that we're having. It was that I just wanted to really clarify for myself and for everyone who's listening, because there seems to be more and more and more people listening. And when someone comes in for the first time and they're trying to interpret what they're hearing, I mean, I had this one lady go into this, well, you need to just shut up and don't say anything and just let them say whatever. And it's like, and I didn't respond back to her. you know I'm trying to make sure that I understand what's being said in the first place, to clarify, and
Yes, you
I
are
don't
the
have to
one
share.
asking the question. We are the one that try to help you to understand. And when we try to help you understand, it's not only for you as a singular being, it's for the masses. But when people come in with that low density to take themselves and put them in a higher position that they are in the title of criticize your work, they're holding a density that is not resonating with the message that is coming out. They should go back and listen to other messages maybe, or they should just, maybe they can go to an earlier sessions and follow it like there's a red thread in everything. There's a path we follow, and this part is taking different routes. So when
Well,
people,
you're right. It's good.
yeah, so when they come in here now and listen to what you're trying to put out for them, some of them are going to get the message directly because they are in the same right frequency and vibration. Some of them are just going to think this is schizophrenic or stupid or sick. And there are always going to be that different interpretation of it. But you should not focus on what they think. You should focus on what you do and what your attention are. So let them have their opinion, because it's going to change, even if they now say that do this, do that, do this, because they want to adapt the surroundings instead of adapt their self or their true inner self. And that is just that they want, that is the thing they want to get, but they are not aware of that is the thing they need to know for the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like if if I was doing this so wrong, you wouldn't do it with me. I mean, you would just like we would get nothing. No one
Yeah,
would show up to
exactly.
talk to listen to
And
me or
Lars
listen
should
to
not be
us.
able to interpret what we're saying either if you had the wrong, can we say, set of mind or mindset when you do this. If you're doing this just out of ego, you should be getting the same message over and over and over again, and that is not happening. It's developing, and the path you're going is developing. For you as manifested entities, you and Lars here on this planet, you are going this path together now, helping people to wake up. And you find other ways to do that. Hank do it in different ways also, by healing and poems and paintings, and Lars do it in other way. But you have always the same intention, is to wake up people to step into that other reality where we need to be now. Many of these planetary beings need to step in that now, so we can get rid of that low density and low vibration. We don't need that anymore.
Okay, so thank you very much for that, and that was a great explanation and a very much needed explanation. So that's basically what I was when I said, are they familiar with what my concerns were? And my concerns were literally about the work that we're doing and how we're being received by some people. And a majority of the people, listen, a majority of the people, and you already know, are really enjoying and really growing and expanding from this. I get lots and lots and lots of people, but every now and then I get a few people who will leave a message, and we already understand that or whatever, but like changing our contract was something that came to my mind. I have no desire to change my contract, but you hear people say, well, you can change your contract. I even heard someone say that you can change your guardians and your guides if you're not happy with the ones that you have. I don't know. How does that sounds like a wild concept, but
You cannot change the contract. You can choose to step out of that contract, but it's
okay.
still going to be fulfilled for when you made up that contract. We don't really like the name of contract. It sounds like it's something that is binding for whole of your manifestation. It's not that way at all.
What the intent we put to do when we came. That's
Yeah,
what
that
our
intent will live on even if you decided to let go of the work you're doing now. That intention you had will go on anyway. So in a way you can step out of that field or that contract, so to speak, and you will not be judged in any way or form, they're saying here. And now Isabel is stepping forward, putting up a finger and say, Hank, you are suspicious in a way because you have that experience in your life when you have been attacked. And that's a part of the experience you're here to understand when you manifest. She almost waved with her fingers. Bah, 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 she's saying, but she's saying that with love. But understand that that is an experience your soul wanted to experience. So it's nothing wrong by being a little suspicious and cautious sometimes, because that was what you wanted to learn when you manifested. You are not fully learned of all that is going on this planet when you come in. You come in with an attention and you're focusing on that, but you're also filling up this swimming pool with your experience. So don't think that is something wrong or something you need to get rid of. that is a part of you, and it's a lovely part of you that's making good for so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, you, you already know I'm not, it's not like I'm just saying I'm not going to change or I'm not going to grow from it or what have you. But, I'm, I don't think that I went through all those things in my childhood by mistake
No,
to prepare me for who I am today.
no, you wanted that experience. You wanted to share that experience into this pool or library of all knowledge, all understanding. So you're still having a part in that, of course. So it's still a part of your manifested personality. And it will always be through all of your life. The most important thing is that you are aware of it, that you're aware of this is a part of my experience, uh, resonate with it, accept it, and it will not have any bad effect on you as soon as you are aware of it. But you will still be suspicious, you will still be that kind that people sometimes not resonate with when they think you talk too much or are too pushy or aggressive. That does not matter. Don't focus on that. Focus on the thing you are here to do.
Well, that's why I keep going. And for real, I know that you're always there, but whenever we do these sessions and we have someone like Ka coming forward and Maya, which I have much love and respect for them, I always I feel like, okay, I need Augustine and Isabel to come forward. I know they're there, but I want them to be in the space as well. And
Yes, and they are.
I there I just like them. I like for as everything is going on, as Lars is experiencing everything he's experiencing in this sessions with Maya or Ka or whoever comes for Sandra, to have Isabel and Augustine there as well and in eyesight. And I don't think that's asking for too much. I know he says he feels your energy there, but I don't know. It just sort of makes me feel better because I know that. Have we ever been infiltrated in these sessions with messages that are incorrect, or have we ever been deceived by any of the messages that we've been receiving?
The only one that can deceive you is yourself. If you have your, can we say, mindset or soul set, we can call it, in the right order, so nothing will affect that and the truth will come out. But if you go in with a feeling of fear or density, it can be misinterpreted. But we try to help you asking the question to ask the question in the right way, also to get this to resonate in the right vibration.
Well, I'm not afraid. If I was afraid of this, it just wouldn't do it at all. If I was so afraid that any of the information that I was getting from any particular person especially Lars, because we do so many, I would have just stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, but
Uh,
there is a little part of your personality, as we said, about this suspicious. By asking the question, are we influenced? It's also expressing, I'm a little suspicious. But you are
Well, the reason
not,
why is because of the conversations that we have before we get started. And, I don't like, I know there's a cultural difference, and I know Lars' sense of humor is different than mine. And I try to say, I'm not trying to tell you how to act or what to say or how to be with me. But if you can tell by if you're approaching me in a particular way that it's going to trigger a particular something that I don't absolutely like or whatever, I'm like,
yeah, so
oh,
maybe that
don't
is
do
the
that
thing you
because
need to think about.
it feeds it. It's like feeding it for me, and I'm like, I would prefer not to do that. I try not to. I don't do anything that I wouldn't want anyone to do to me. And if I feel uncomfortable with something, if I try and say it, I'm not trying to dictate them or tell them to be a certain way or do a certain thing. And of course, I don't believe there's any accidents or mistakes. So every time it happens, it's probably giving me an opportunity to choose who I am in relationship to what's being said. Can I see the love of this person who works with me and has worked with me for eons throughout eternity? Or am I still just going to focus on the negative part or the low vibration that is triggered within me to respond in the way that I do? I see it from all angles. I do for sure.
Yeah, but you have to understand that when this is happening is the experience you're having now in this 3D world in your expression here. When he tried to say some jokes that you're not resonating with or even feel bad about, maybe that's a good thing. You are getting aware of what you're reacting on, and when you're going to react on that in a certain way, you need to see that for yourself, and then it will stop automatically. We want to push this very hard for you, and we talked to Lars many times also about this. He can be perceived sometimes to be rude, and that is not his intention. But when you perceive him as rude, he's feeding into your experience here, and also into his own experience here. So
Well,
it's a
that's true,
purpose behind that
but
also.
that is true. But I would rather, it's like either I can focus on it, or I can say, you know what, I have no desire to have this experience anymore and just change the page. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And I don't want to chop my nose off to spite my face or anything like that, but there's just certain things that I have no desire. I have free will to choose if I'm going to relate with someone. And if I can't relate with them in a way that makes me feel comfortable, then I don't want to relate with them anymore. I don't want to be constantly challenged I mean, that's what, you know,
Are you listening to what yourself saying now? Because what you're saying is, I don't want this experience that I decided to have. It's contradictory. But we can say that you can say, no, thank you, I don't want this, and go on. Of course, you have to choose your own path. But if you're going to have him to stop saying certain things, others are going to start to say it instead. Because that is what you desire to experience. Because everything that's triggering you to get a feeling, even if it's a bad feeling for you, it's not bad for you. Lars is the same. He can feel very bad about some things, and he don't want to have that feeling because it's not comfortable. But he's going to experience that feeling until he's integrated it into his own experience here.
well, yes, but listen, if the person that I'm going to have that experiences, if someone that I'm working with and I'm trying to do good with, I just said it. Yes, I have no desire for that because I don't have that with a lot of people at all.
Yes.
And if there's something like, okay, Hank, but you really need to get used to that, I'm not going to get used to being what I feel like when I'm being verbally abused by someone in order to, um, I thought, we weren't here
Of
to,
course not. Of course not. You are going to have to accept this abuse from someone else when the intention is to abuse you. It's wrong. When the intention is to show something for you that you have to experience, it's a good thing. But when you resonate and when you use your intuition, you can separate between this. It's really easy for your inner through self to separate what is said for being abusive because they want to have this experience. Then you don't have to feed into that. When it's needed for you to have the experience, you have already decided to have it. But of course you can say, thank you, but no thank you. That's free will. And if it don't stop, we can say that you can take another path. If you're fed up with it, if you're
Well,
finished with it, you can just step
well,
out.
Isabel and Augustine, you know how I am,
Yes.
and I know I'm in a constant state of trying to be better and to grow and to expand my awareness. And even though I'm here on a mission to do X, Y, and Z or what have you, but somebody make an attempt to stress me out on a daily basis, or having to be stressed out on a daily basis with something or whatever, I'd have no desire for that ever at all. I mean, I was told that I wasn't even going to come here to this realm if Eddie didn't come to this realm, and which I find really, really interesting. And um, anyway, I'm not trying to make this whole thing about me, but I know
It's not
for a
about
fact
you.
that a lot of people can relate to this type of thing. There are people who get into marriages and relationships and friendships or whatever, and I figure what I put out is what I should get back. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not putting that out, uh, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, I don't want anyone to change or to try and dictate how they present themselves or whatever, but
Yes, but we want to say like this. You are exactly right. In your reality, you are right. But you have to understand that if someone is getting beat by their spouses, is that not a bad action? Yes, of course, in the eyes of you, it's a bad action. Should we step in to correct it? Yeah, if you feel you should correct it, you should do that. But do you think that the spouse that is going to be beaten enjoy that? Or is it a part of the experience? Even bad things are needed to be known about, and a lot of things you can only experience in a body, in a manifestation.
that's true. And then you can also choose that I have no desire to experience that anymore and move, get
Yes,
out of that scenario before they're dead,
yes.
before something goes overboard.
But even people are going to beat to death. Is that a part of this experience that they wanted to have? Some people is going to be killed in a car accident. No one choose that in this density to do that on purpose. Yeah, some do if they are out doing suicide, but and people can even change their mind then. If you crash your car or motorcycle into a concrete post, you have a chance to say, no, wait a minute, I wanted this experience, but I still have something to do, and then you will not die. You will still keep your density and your three-dimension body. So when people sometimes say, oh, it's a miraculous thing happening, no, it was you decided to keep on going. So yeah, it's hard to understand that how can anyone choose to get hurt? And yeah, but that's a part of their experience that they wanted to have when they manifested here.
That's understood. And how beneficial do you think this conversation that we're having right now will be for the people who are listening in?
It's very important. It's important to understand that even if it seems cruel, unfair, and so on, and you cannot change it, and that is then not meant to be changed. Because when I stepped into this reality with the intention to be abused, or be loved, or be whatever in feelings, they have that intention from the beginning. So it's very important for everyone to see this and understand that all of this is a part of, we don't like to we don't like to call it a program, but the intention from your soul to put into this knowledge bank, into this library, into this pool. But you always need to go back to your inner truth, to your inner self, to your soul, and try to, can I understand this? Yes, I understand it. Can I accept it? No, I cannot accept this going on. And then you maybe change your attention to be active in stopping abuse against women or children or whatever. Then that is meant to be also. We can take an example that Lars has experienced himself by helping a lady out of a very abusive situation. And she had decided to be helped out of that, but she wanted to experience the abuse when she manifested. So everything that is happening is meant to happen. So even if it's bad. But if you now step out of this reality, this dimension, and this three-dimension reality, all of that is going to lose the grip of you. That is why we urge you to try to understand that you are so much more than a human here on the earth. This is just an experience you are going through. You can keep your body and step into the fifth dimension, and you will still keep your body if it's dear to you. It's you that decide what path you're going, and you have that free will to choose that. But as long as you keep on holding on to fear or feeding into that low vibration density by the system you're living in or whatever, then it's going to take you a longer time to transcend. And we from this side and all of the entities that are in your reality now helping you are really wishing for you to take this step. It's not any dangerous. It can be dark inside the threshold, but as soon as you step in, the light is turning on, and you will understand it.
So isn't it, I mean, I figured that's what our intentions for being here in the first place, someone like myself and for Lars to come here because those experiences are no longer required. We've learned everything we can from the low vibration, and we've learned everything we can from being opposites and from dark and from fear, and it's no longer serving us. And so
That's
which is
right.
basically a lot of how I make a decision, because I'm like, that's not serving me to argue or to be in that scenario. I can just change it and not have to deal with it whatsoever.
Yes.
I mean, because I thought I had already ascended past that. And so I know that I'm here. And so now to have to keep facing it all, to keep having to have that exact same challenge is like me almost getting lost back in the sensation of it. You say we don't have karma here. Some of the light workers that come in to do this type of work and the entities that come in to do this work. And so does that make sense when I say, that's why I say I don't want to have to deal with that, because
you're correct. You can choose to step up. You can choose whenever you want to stop having that experience, because it's what's going to happen when you step into next reality. That is what's going to happen. And many of you are going to choose to get rid of your manifestation in the form of this body. Many of you can bring the body. Many will understand that, why should I choose to drag this lump of meat with me everywhere when I don't need it? Because it's not the body that are connected with other. It's your soul that are connected. So, yes, you're perfectly right.
So are we not here to step out of, to help this whole planet, this whole universe step out of this density into a higher density, because those type of things that I'm talking about just no longer serve us anymore.
Yes. And the word of karma was so much misinterpreted because it was never meant to hold you to suffering and to low density. It was meant for you to use for going through your experience in this lifetime or in earlier lifetimes.
That's understood.
So that is
So,
not playing any role in the extension, and you will not bring that with you. Whatever baggage you're carrying now, you will not bring that into the next reality. When you step over that threshold, it's just going to fall off you like a baggage or a rucksack or whatever you can call it as a metaphor. But you can, when you do that, and when you decide that as a collective, because it's important that you do it as a collective, then all of this lower density will just vanish like magic.
very good. Well, I'd like to go ahead and uh, change the subject altogether in a sense. And my next questions are is what during this process, this ascension process that we're speaking about, could you please um, expand upon the different extraterrestrial races that are that we've seen with Lars and all the different types of entities that he has been, and all the different type of entities that I have been, and the ones that are around the planet and helping with this process, and how you see our relationship developing in physical form.
If you understand this right, you really ask about how you are going to connect to them in a different way than you are able to do now. Is that right?
Yes, but because, well, I know that there are light entities and higher vibrational entities that are around the planet as well, but I know there's also entities that have physical 3D bodies as well. And so I'm wondering how is that going to play out? The connection, the
They are still going to lower the vibration and manifest here for you to be able to, if you are in a physical form, to be able to relate to them. But you are also going to have the ability of
telepathy.
telepathy, yes. It's a
That's
little,
telepathic communication with our minds, the communicating with our minds.
yeah, and that's when it's not, then it's, in that moment, it's futile to keep on lying because you're not able to go to lie to anyone because you are one with them when they manifest here with you. So when they come in from a higher frequency, they have to go down in frequency and intensity for you to connect. But you're also going to have meeting with extraterrestrial beings that are manifested on many places in your galaxy and in many other galaxies. You're going to have a physical, you can shake their hands and you can share with them understanding and knowledge and everything like that. So it's going to be a physical meeting. It's also going to be a meeting on a deeper level or a higher level.
In terms of the society, it's going to take quite a while for the people who are still totally unaware of what's happening on the planet to
Yes,
get to say,
to
I don't know
transcend.
where comes compared to where, and I don't know how I've heard it before in other sessions about where I was at and where Lars was at in terms of this ascension process. Um, Obviously, we have a lot of information, and I guess light is information, so that makes us much a bit more expanded than the average person who just doesn't know anything. But it was really interesting. There's a gentleman who has a connect with the Blue Avian, and they told him that he was not prepared, even though he's the spokesperson, that he was not prepared energetically enough to make it through the transition or the ascension into 5D
Yes.
in the moment. And
But many of
that
you are already resonating and vibrating in 5D, but you're not aware of it. But you are. But when you finally decide to do this collectively, then it's when all of this lower density is going to lose grip of your planet, and you are able to transcend. And yes, it's going to take time. It's like imagine a toddler is growing up, getting more and more knowledge and understanding as they grow up. But you have been taught the wrong kind of knowledge when you're growing up from the wrong kind of sources. Your government, your different.
understood.
Yeah. So when you all understand that this has been going on and this is time to change, it's going to change faster and faster and faster, and it's happening now. It's really happening now, and you as Hank are already in five dimension vibration. But when you're doing this work, you're going down in vibration to be able to do this, and you're still holding on to your body and have not decided to step out of that reality. So in a way, you have a denser reality with your body, but not with your soul. Your soul are already in the fifth dimension.
And are all souls already in the fifth dimension in a sense, relatively speaking?
No, not all
Okay.
have transcended to that. Many
Okay.
are kept in 3D, many are in fourth dimension, many is transcending into fifth dimension, and it's going faster and faster and faster. But you think linearly, so linearly speaking, you can feel it take forever, but if you don't think of a timeline, it's going to happen yesterday.
Well,
So
yeah, I've been saying it for years that I was already there.
yes,
Uh, what about Lars?
he's there, and
Okay.
he's easily so transcendent between different frequencies now. So whenever he need to or focus on to do this kind of work or other works, he's there directly because he has put a lot of effort and training into this. And that is why we urge you other also to do, and it's not hard to do. It's so easy, so you not can imagine it. It's so easy. Just go out an hour, sit on a beach looking out of a lake, or go to a stream, go out in the forest, and then you connect. And when it's going to be quiet in your brain chatter, is then you are able to connect directly. So when you learn to do that, even when the shattering around you is going on, then you are not will hold on to that lower density. It will lose the grip of you automatically.
Oh, very good. So, with that said, could you I always remember after we did the questions for the subscribers, and at the end you said that we could ask, what does the energetic signature of the planet look like now, and what will it look like once we are able to, once we do transcend this dimension. So I would ask in this moment now, what does the energetic signature look like in terms of how many people or percentages of people who are at a vibration um, to make the transition? How does the planet look or feel?
They're showing me a picture of a big plain of grass that is on fire, and the wind is sweeping the fire in front of. So I guess they mean that is growing like a wildfire or something like that, and expansionality, expansionary. No, what do they say? Exponentially,
Okay.
it's growing, and we can say that almost there is. We say of all of these inhabitants on your planet, is no, when they transcend, they will not still longer stay here. So you will not longer be 7 billion people on this planet, and the planet is doing just fine, and it's transcend with you, and with your attention and with your reconnection, it will heal every wound you caused it. And you will also change your societies, your realities in form of cities and villages and urban places will change. When you go out in the urban places, it will be very pristine. It will be almost feeling blissful. But you can even have that feeling when you are in a city, because there are going to be cities in the future, but they will change. The hostility is gone. The low density is gone. You can go out on the street and don't need to look behind you because someone is going to hurt you. That is gone. So that is not longer going to have a part in your perception of your reality.
Very good. And something just popped into my head as you said the cities. We keep hearing about the cities of light, and then it reminded me of the enchanted complex that I was writing about, and then a lot of people said it reminded them of this movie. I can't call the name of it, but when we hear of the city of lights and we hear that the city of lights are getting closer and closer, I guess vibrationally to this level of existence, what can you tell us about the city of lights, please?
The cities of what you call light is the one that you create. It's the one you create with the right mindset or soul set. And that expression of light is that it's on a higher level where just the density of fear and all of that fear mongering has left you as a reality. It will not longer be a reality for you. So that is a form of the city's delight in the
And are
cities.
there populations from people who have already transcended and left the planet and are now fifth dimensional beings? Because, say, for instance, if their contract or what they came here to do is complete, and are there lots of entities that are already there waiting for us
Yes.
to?
The,
Okay.
the, the planet or that reality is already created, just waiting for you to step on.
That's one thing. There's a very famous channel named Daryl Anka, and he channels an entity, higher aspect of himself called Bashar, which happens to mean, I believe, messenger anyway. And he's always speaking about the cities of lights, and he said that they're actually lowering, like they're in the atmosphere of the planet, out of our vibrational frequency, but they're coming closer and closer. Is that something to when will they literally meld with so there, it seems like they're in the air just because of the way we reference vibration as in high or low from our own perception. But is that the something that will literally sort of meld with the planet and I mean lower itself in so as we rise in vibration? How they say as above, so below, and this is what the what we're going to develop to. Does that make any sense? These cities of lights. They're saying they're floating in the air, literally. And I was
Yes,
trying to explain
it's
it that way to
it's
Lars.
floating about. All of these realities is about 4 feet above you. So if you take a long step with your intention, you will reach this. It's already created. And the light, city of light, the light in the cities, that are you that are shining that light. That are your that are your collective that making this light. It's not literally a light, but you're creating this light. And that is the combine of the collective souls that creating this reality. And the reality is there for you. It's already available for you. You just step on.
Are there extraterrestrial or dimensional entities in these cities of lights as well?
Yes. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for greeting you and hugging you and kissing you.
Very good. And also, and we were speaking about the extraterrestrials. I mean, that's what I really sort of wanted the second part to be about in terms of the extraterrestrials that are helping. They, you hear that there are biospheres, huge biospheres that are just out of phase throughout the galaxy
Yes.
around these planets that are making this shift and that they have hospital wings or all I mean just so many amazing things, futuristic things that will help in everyone as they make this transition.
Yes, and the wonderful thing is you are all going to have access to that when you decided to get rid of this low density. It will all be open for you. It's like I'm now going to step into my bedroom, but when you step into the bedroom, you step into the universe. It's the same thing. You are connected with every living entities that ever have been and ever going to be, and you are connecting. To be able to communicate by through the different frequency, you are not going now directly from fifth dimension and that frequency and be able to connect uh, mentally and physically direct, but you're going to say, hey, I need this for this or this purpose, and that is going to be presented for you down through the dimensions. So they have to lower the frequency to connect with you in that place. And many
um,
of those dooms and places that are out there are now working overtime of helping you pass through this. And they are there working physically, really physically, because they are going to come in a lot of technology. So on this new planet, if we can say so, this rebirth of your planet,
yes,
and that need to be physical. So there are bases, or what you can say, there are on different planets. They are also on under big domes out in the universe, and all of that that you are going to need is going to be provided for you, and it's come out of this decision from different community and councils, and it's come out of a decree from the source from the beginning. So yes.
understood. And so, and in two parts, the a lot of us light workers, star seeds, whatever word you want to use to, just to, like I say, for reference, are on these ships during their sleep time, and of course, even their higher dimensional selves are there maybe all the time. Uh, is that so? A lot of, like, say, for instance, I know they're telling me and they've told Lars that we're working on these ships
Yes.
over the planet. So a lot of people, a lot of light workers are on those ships working all the time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then,
Because there is no time.
yes. And do they ever, does, when you go into a higher vibrational, fifth dimensional, maybe even higher fourth, is there a need for sleep?
No. You refill your energy reserve in different way. And it can also be so when you are focusing on a mission or a task. When you're doing that, the harder you work, so to speak, the better you feel.
Oh,
So,
very good. So it's sort of self-generating
yes,
through works of love.
yes.
Oh, okay.
When you have love in focus, you will be provided with whatever you need, and you will not need to hold on to monetary system or belief systems anymore. It will be like turning on the light in a dark room. And you are
Understood.
going to dive in with all of your body into this pool of understanding and knowledge and all of that thing we're trying to show for you to understand. Now you have your finger in there. When you transcend, take that step of 3 or 4 feet and decide that now is the time, then you're going to see this enormous swimming pool and you can dive into it fully and tap into everything.
Excellent. You know, you were speaking about communication in terms of them having to lower their vibration, or us as we're raising our vibration to communicate, which is really like a great segue to we. I keep about light languages and ET languages. Lars did a session with a beautiful young lady, and at the end, she did like an invocation to help people raise their vibration.
Yes.
Um, there's a lot of people, I've heard a few. What's the difference between extraterrestrial language and maybe light language? Is there a difference, or
Not really, but the languages has different purposes. It can have uh, a ground purpose of communication, of course, but when you are transcending into a higher reality, you not need anymore to connect in a verbal. You not have to stand in front of the person you want to address, because you are both aware when this is taking place, and you are going to freely communicate telepathically. And so is you're going to do between different species, because different species have different way of speaking, so to say.
yes?
Yes, and you do that also when you're manifested, because it's necessary to be that way that you do that. But you also have this telepathic ability, all of you. You have that now also, and you have always had that with you. You just you forgot to remember.
Yes, understood. So, literally, from what you've just said, light language, I'm here on the planet Earth and I'm connecting with the Palladian High Council or the Orion High Council or just a council period. And that's a light language communication that goes on between us. XET language is if I'm speaking, say, for instance, with Maya, and I know when Lars had his experience, it was all telepathic or whatever, but you hear people channeling and then they start speaking what they call star language or ET language. Uh,
That has a
uh,
purpose in that moment when that's happening. And when that lady did that in the session Lars did with her, it was the intention to wake people, and that was in the appropriate way and time to do that. That
Oh,
was
very
to wake
good.
people up. It
I
was
took
like
amazing.
it's like a code. It's like
Yeah.
when you're trying to, if you have a code to go into your door, you push the button to, and then you have a reaction. The door is going to open, and it's the same thing. You open doors, you open abilities.
When she was speaking that language, was someone speaking through her? Or was the, I mean, I know the energy was
It is
flowing.
her connection with her higher self, and
Okay.
where she originating from. She is really a princess from another galaxy, that she was regarded as a princess, a royalty. So when she did that, that they were her, if we can say, relative that helped her with that, and her higher self that did that. So yes.
Oh, okay. Amazing. And so you're on the moon of this planet. That this is what, maybe our third or fourth time coming to this, where there's a gas giant where we can see the aura coming off the planet, and
Yes.
there's a lot of people here, or entities that are here, who were almost cheering, I guess, as you arrived. What's going on there? I know that's like an hour and 25 minutes into I ask about your arrival, and
That's going on. That's showing us that the ones that now are manifesting on your planet, and all of you that are now, so to say, alive, have come through this place or this energy field with it, which is really it's an energy field, and many here surrounding us now are going to manifest into your planet and other planets in your galaxy, and they are preparing for the different agendas they bring with them. So they're showing this to make you to understand where you're coming from. That you're not just a little human manifested here and nothing else than miss this or misses that, because you are a part of God.
it's been coming like in almost every session that I do, and it seems like there's a huge group. I mean, there's so many people saying that this is getting ready to happen like really soon. We hear that word soon all the time, but like we're getting to what is it? The what? How do you say it? The critical mass, like critical mass, to where I know we had spoken about it before, about certain number of entities that are going to wake up first into full consciousness, and then after that, then exponentially, like you said, like a wildfire, it will start to spread, and then more and more, especially the star seeds, will wake up probably quicker than the earth seeds.
Yes.
But I mean,
And you have already, you started off with 500 entities on this planet from the beginning, light workers that are focusing on the right frequency and on the right intention. And it's now many more than that. So it's already grown into a bigger group. But we want to address this, that is so important that you stop listening to the negative messages that are brought out there, because it's the elite that trying to keep you into this density. They're feeling they're losing power, they're feeling they lose a meaning with their lives, because they came in here with a lower vibration and has learned nothing from their experience. They're stuck. So what we need to focus on is not the negative, just bring out the positive, and they will come with you because you have the intention to bring everyone with you, and you can do that. Some is
So,
going to decide to, no, I will not take this step, and they are going to get help for that. They're going to be healed from that belief system they are clinging on to. They are stuck.
and is it 144,000 the number that will create critical mass for the entire planet?
You already reach the amount of awareness that you now can step into that reality when you decide to do. So it's yeah. We can't say a number. We can say a number, but it has no importance. The importance is the amount of human beings that are awake are enough now to take this step into that new reality.
I've been working on a project of drawing pictures from the book of Revelations, and it was really interesting when I read about the 144,000 um, in Revelations, and so um,
Yes, it's a good number.
that's it, huh? Very good.
We can say
Yeah.
this also, that it's very important that you get rid of old belief system, because you're talking about Revelation as you took it out of that book. Many of you are putting your trust and belief in. But the belief system, it has also been created for holding you down and in control. So it's very important that you free yourself out of that belief system, but also do that with respect. Many of you are afraid to leave it behind because you are afraid to be judged, and many of you have been scared into to believe that you're going to some place where it's not so nice, and it's not the truth. You have to get rid of that belief system to be able to transcend, because it not serve you in any way anymore to keep on to that. It's just low density. It's a control system created by
Was
man.
was that material originally channeled to the entities who wrote it?
They got help from outside of this reality, came in to create this low density because they were going to try to harvesting resources of your planet and many other places. They are
Okay, so
gone. They are gone. So yeah. So in a way, you can say that the one that wrote it had not the intention to create any harm or anything. They were manipulated to do this.
okay,
So, but
so my thought was that it was channeled with a beautiful message, and
yes,
then the message and its interpretation was then manipulated in
yes,
order
exactly.
to. Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's real. That's why. See, that's why some people say, "Oh, like the
But if you
particular
read that
person
book
who was
from
telling me that I should not stop and reiterate or to make sure that I really got it right. Because if I would have just let you say what you just said, a lot of people already know would have been like, well, how could he say it that way? And that's why I said, hold it. Was it not channeled and channeled with a beautiful message? And then after it was channeled, those who interpreted it for their own benefit manipulated it to change it to a control system type thing.
yeah, and it's from the beginning it was not written at all. It was not on a paper. It was not.
Understood.
Yeah, from the beginning it was just brought to you as a nice message, and it started long before your time counting of DC or BC or whatever. But then when it was written, really written onto a paper or scrolls, then they started to manipulate it, the message.
Oh, there we
Because
go.
if you read it from start to end, there's a lot of electricity going on and a lot of very bad thing. And if you think of it, what does that do for you? It make you scared. And how easy is it not to manipulate and control a scared person? It's really easy. And that was the intention. Not only for the that society or that community or what we can say, but it came from outside of your reality also, because when the people or this entity that wanted to have this control was cooperated with many other entities that are now cleared out of this reality. They are not having any power here, but the legacy that living on, that religions they're keeping on to this belief system, is the one that is really hurting you now. So you have to decide to step out of that now to be able
So
to transcend.
what about the book of Enoch?
There's a lot of truth in that book. There's a lot of lovely messages in that book. And when you
They don't.
read it
Okay.
with your heart, but when you read it because you're trying to be something else than you are, then you're manipulating yourself into a system that is not beneficial for you at all.
See, like that right there, I don't understand. I'm sure someone will understand what you mean by that when you say when you're reading it to be someone that you're not. I don't really understand
We will
that.
try to clarify this. There's a lot of promotion for slavery in that book, the promotion of evil in that book, and if you don't do like we say, we're going to put you in a place where you're going to be hurt for
In the book,
eternity.
I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm talking about the book of Enoch.
Then you have to clarify because
I'm sorry.
I
Very
can't
good.
translate.
Okay, very good, very good. All right. Okay. Enoch is a book that they didn't include in the Bible,
Yes,
and
but that is also man-made. That's not coming out. All of that is not coming out of love either.
well, I before we even say anything else on it, I think we may Lars may have to read about it or to understand it before you make those statements. Because, like I said, that was why I asked in the beginning: can the instrument answer outside of their understanding or their knowing? I know that they can, but in certain scenarios, especially about certain subject matters, where I know that the vessel or the instrument has a strong feeling about, I feel like that comes through in these messages, and I try to, so I'm going to steer away from that
We
conversation.
try to show him, but he doesn't always understand what we show him.
Okay.
So he
So
can't interpret it, and he misinterprets it, and he is eager sometimes to answer the question because he wants to get the good message out. But
understood, and I understand that. Promise you, I really do. So there's just certain things. Uh, I know how humans are. I'm a human, and I was raised religiously, and I just know that we prefer this to be a positive message as opposed to you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, that type of thing, or what have you. So what about the emerald tablets? These emerald tablets that they have are supposed to be so hard that they can't damage them, they can't do anything, and actually the material is pretty much forbidden in a sense to. I mean, even every time someone gets an interpretation of them and they put it online, these tablets are yanked. Could you reach into your? I don't know. Are you familiar with the emerald tablets? I think of Thoth.
we are aware of the expression emerald tablets, and we are also aware of a lot of expression for what in reality is different frequencies, different energies. So There's no material on your planet that cannot be destroyed. There are energies and frequency that will be forever and cannot be destroyed. There are messages and intention that cannot be destroyed, but materially you can destroy it. So it's not that it's so.
You mean futuristically they'll be able to destroy it, because thus far they have not been able to destroy it with everything that they've tried.
Yes.
I mean, I know I just put it that way, and I'm not trying to put him on the spot.
I can feel that they don't like to. They won't like to go into this area of discussion for the moment. They are not focusing on that. They're focusing on.
I'm sort of I'm okay, and I understand that as well, and we can change the focus of this. I mean, we're finished here. I just was the more you say to me, the more questions pop into my head.
Yes, we know that, and that's a part of your personality that we really love, and Lars is also loving that personality in you, but he don't want to. He's so hard focusing on bringing positive energy out now. So when we explain for him something, he chooses not to bring it forward because it's not for the moment any good for anyone to know about that.
I know, but that's his interpretation. Why? That's what I'm saying. Why? How do you put us together? You put us together.
Yes.
I mean, we're together doing this type of work.
Yeah, but that's his free will. We cannot manipulate his free will of not bringing out some kind of message. How much we even scream in his ear, he will not bring it out because he has that free will. He will not be involved and a part of that. So therefore, not all answer is coming out. It's not that he is using his mind to manipulate or change any of the messages. It's just that his inner self saying, not now, please step back.
So then why me? Why me? Why are we doing this together? If you know what I'm saying?
You're doing a lot of things that are beautiful. You're doing the right intention, but some of the intention in your questions and the answer for that question is not for any benefit for the collective. And if we're saying that this, wait, Maya, step forward. She say, if we say to you, this is a lie you have been fed into, how would that be interpreted? That will be interpreted that something bad is going on and has happening in your lifetime. You have been fed in a lot of lies in this society and density you have been receding in, and Lars, as his entity, decided for some time back that he will not tap into that anymore, to say that they are lying, this is not truth. And do you think he willing to say is nothing is so hard that you can't destroy it on this planet even now? And you can interpret that as you want, but he will not say that it's a lie, because there are different kind of truth out there.
So literally, is it if for this particular line of question, I should be asking someone else who would be willing, because it's out there, and yes. If we're trying to, for me, I just like the truth in all of it. There's so much stuff that's said. There's so many things that are supposedly out there, and
you can get answer for all your questions, but you cannot have all of your questions answered this way.
Totally understood. And so, is it just this particular line of questioning just best for someone else then?
If you want that answer, yes. If you ask about anything that, because we can't see that anything is impossible. So if you say something is impossible to destroy, that's impossible. Everything can be destroyed. So have they demonstrating any material in,
But obviously, I think these tablets aren't man-made. I thought they were extraterrestrially brought to the planet and
yes.
given to a particular, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I always ask, can the instrument answer outside of his own understanding or his own knowledge? I know in some cases, yes.
He can, but he will not, because he chooses not to do that with his intention for the moment. It can change, but now he decided not to tap into that.
So have we pretty much said everything that we could possibly say with all these sessions that we've done? Have we answered?
No, there are many more messages to bring out, and you have many more questions coming up and be fed into you, and in his reality also there will always be questions.
Very
So
good.
you're still doing a great job. We in no way trying to criticize anything, just that his intention is not to focus on anything. He's saying to us, debunking. No, he will not tap into
That
that.
wasn't my intention,
No,
but I
we
understand.
know, but many can perceive it as if he's saying, no, that's not true. Then you are saying that in the same way you're then saying they are lying. So who should you believe? This message or their message? It's up to you as an entity to resonate with what you believe. Don't take this for your truth either, what Hank and Lars is bringing through. It has to resonate with you, and you have to use your, can we say, common sense or your intuition. So what is true for you is true for you. So yes, you have a lot of work still to do. And by the way, Hank, Isabella stepping forward and say, and she take your form. She looked exactly like you now, but she has a cap on her head.
I
But
put mine on while
yeah,
you're on there.
yeah, okay. She's saying we love your artwork, and it's healing you, and you should show it for more people, because it's doing good for them in their awakening and their feelings and understanding of what is going on. So try to show them more than you do. She's stepping forward to say,
Did she? Did she? What? Oh, thank you. It's so bizarre. I tell you, that was going to be my very last question, and I am not making it up. So her stepping forward. Thank you for stopping that other conversation. That was a great segue. This artwork that I'm doing right now, we're sort of in negotiation. Should well, this is advice. Just I need advice. I was about the artwork. Like this client wants total rights of the artwork, and they want total rights of the artwork. And I don't, you know how I am about giving my artwork up for free. I say, hey, you just needed the images or whatever, but if you want the originals, you know how I am about that. I have all of my originals, you know what I'm saying? Because this is going to go into a slideshow. I don't really like giving up my originals unless I'm making it as a gift. If I draw your face and it looks just like you or something like that, that's normally what I do if I do portraits, and I give it to the person. What does she think about this? Should I just, what is her?
she's pointing at the stomach on the stomach and say, what does this say to you? What
Yeah.
does your intuition say to you? That is the way we communicate with you, Hank. So
Well,
if you
my
listen,
gut feeling.
yes,
My gut feeling is that they're going to take the work and then they'll probably decide, oh, I can make a small book out of this. I can sell these images, and I'm going to pay you only this much money to do this, and then I can make a lot of money off of it.
you see, you are a smart entity.
I don't know why that drives me crazy, the thought of that, though. I don't like that.
We think it should be more beneficial for the collective if you are able to show that art you're creating now and all of the art you're creating earlier in your life also for the masses. And you can do that in different way on internet or in galleries or whatever. But we think you should hold on to that for giving you now a help in decide. It's yeah, that we leave you with that, Hank, because we
Okay.
know that you have the knowledge what you are going to do is going to be the right decision.
Well, it was a source of income for me. Uh, and so I just, it was a good source of income.
Yes, but
Uh,
the terms and conditions changed during the. It was not clearly for you from the beginning what the terms and conditions should be, and we think you are going with your feelings when you say this thing you say about that, and why should they need it, she says. What should they need it? For the purpose they addressed to you from the beginning. We are
do
going, yeah, we're really traveling fast. The, the stars just swoosh by us. So we are going to this 11th dimension moon together. So we are just playing and having fun while we travel. It's beautiful here,
Very good.
really nice.
Now I'd like for you and Maya,
Yeah, we are arriving to this moon and just settle down on the surface. This is the moon we have visited several times before in the 11th dimension.
very nice. Very nice.
There are other entities coming and greeting us, and all is they're hugging us. It feels nice. All is happy and smiling. Yeah.
So you have now arrived in the 11th dimension. And where have you arrived at in the 11th dimension?
On this moon I visited before.
Ah, the moon.
Yes.
And can you see the planet as well?
Yes. I see it, and it's really shiny with this aura around that big planet.
Is there a reason why Maya showed up before I was finished with the entire induction? Or you were just under as soon as I got you protected?
She came and picked me up. She just took my hand and we went off.
Were you able to to experience the pyramid?
Yes. I'm still carrying it with me as an energy field around me.
Oh, very good.
So I got all that, but I was quick.
Understood.
Yes.
And what does your form look like?
I'm looking at myself and is like I'm in an energetic form. I have a shape, but no outlining or anything. Like I cannot distinguish my feet or legs from the other energy around me.
And what about Maya's form? How was that?
She's showing up as I have seen her before. She's so pretty, so sweet.
Oh, very good.
But she is
And
also very shiny, so I think she just took that form when she picked me up, so I shouldn't wonder who it was. She acknowledged herself directly to me.
very nice. And who are all these who have gathered to greet you?
There are many here now that are going to manifest to other places and to Gaia and to other there for heal you, take care of you like a motherly energy for a little child. It's the same feeling as nurturing him and guarding you. And they divide this between them, but they're doing it together also at the same time. So, because you are now here in this density, focusing as a singular being, but you are aware of your connection to the collective, and they help you to reconnect to that collective every day in every moment when you focus on that. When you're doing massage, they're helping you with the. It's done when you do the most of your healing, but you also do healing with your writings and your paintings. The paintings healing not only you but others that can connect to it. Your writing healing a lot of people that connect to it. And when you're focusing on doing this thing, they have different parts in that for you as being manifested here now.
And that's understood, and I'm very thankful for that. And with that thought said, are there others? Is there other energies? Which one? I know there are some people. Some people I have, and I'm asking these questions not just for me, because I think just by you explaining how your connection to me, we have a lot more people who are listening to what's going on now, and I know some of them they can go back and find some of this information. And but Lars has such a great connection, and he's now able to explain things so well. So we're sort of rehashing a little bit here, and so
We also want to clarify that when you're manifesting here, you manifest as a collective to different societies. So you manifest together with, some of you call it soul friends or twin.
flames, soulmate checks.
Yes, so you have them surrounding you even in your daily life, in your manifestation. Hank has Eddie that manifested with him in the desire to. They do different work, but they are still aspect of each other. Hank is an aspect of Eddie, and Eddie is an aspect of. It's just a different energy, just a different vibration. It's like when you're tuning a radio into the station. You are aware of there is 100 station around that, but when you're focusing, that is when you connect to this different level of vibration and energies. So you have them around you, you have had them around you as child, it can be your parents, your siblings, or whatever, they are here. And they are a part of you, and you are a part of them. It's very important to remember this, that nothing is happening by accident or by it's meant to be, because you have already.
Coincidence.
Yeah, you have, yes, exactly. You have already decided to do this. And you can decide to do it all over, but you can also change roles in the manifestation. You can become almost like your father or your likeness experience you have decided to go through.
Understood. And is it normal or natural that more than one energy has come together to manifest as one particular soul in this incarnation?
Yes, but you can still divide up in different kind of work. But and when you change your attention, which is the inner truth of you, when you focus on healing, you have another vibration and another energy. When you focus on teaching, you have a totally different frequency, and so. But they are all connected. But there are different aspects of you, and even aspect of your higher self. But
I, 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 the name Isabel and Augustine, well, Isabel's name, well, both of them, their names kept coming up in the very beginning when I started to do this process. And when I started to do, when I started to actually do QHHT, not when I started doing regression back when I was younger, but and they just kept coming forward, and then of course that's how I knew I found out who. I mean, I had a reference point, a name, two names of two entities that have combined their energy to manifest as me, and I would be your avatar, sort of speak. Is that correct?
yes, and
Okay.
we take these labels for you to reconnect. But what we are for you is aspect of your entity, your soul. We are parts of your soul, but we are also one. But as we present us sometimes for when you're doing this kind of work, we present ourselves as like separate being, individual being, but we're not. We're just one entity, but different aspects of that entity. Just like you can have different personality when you're manifested. You can be energetic, you can be slow, you can be knowledgeable, you can have easy for study in school, or different aspect of your personality. And that is in that way also here, but we have no boundaries. So it's all floating together as one.
I understand that. And so, is there, okay, so with that said, we always put labels on everything, and we have the higher self, of course, which I would consider both of them my higher self. And then we have the label of guardian, and then we have the label of guide and fairy godmother and all these different things. Are they all the same?
Yes. And they're showing me now their true energies, and they're showing up just like light and feelings. Create a lot of feelings inside of me, and they show me that they have different purposes when they're helping you. Isabel is more the it's more the one that make you go forward, pushing you a little bit. The other energy is the yes, you can always change your mind, so to say, but because you have the free will, if you want to go through with this mission you post upon yourself, but you can step out of that and say, no, I want to do something else, or I will stop with this now. And they will step in others, other energy to do the thing that you don't finish. And so it will always be in balance anyway.
And where will that other energy step into? To someone else, or will someone else be born, or?
It can be that, but mostly on an energetic level to balance up the energy that is flowing through this plan and timeline, they say.
Okay, very good. And so, say for instance, like we were speaking about dying and the physical body dying in our last session. Lars and I, we were having that conversation and we were going into a lot of details about if a person decided to, we know there's no accidents, there's no mistakes, and but someone may decide to change the contract. Is it possible to uh, to this is a concept I've heard, and I've heard it a long time ago. I just have never brought it up. But there's this whole series of questions will totally make sense, I promise, when I finish it out. Um, is it possible to change, like we have guardians and we have guides, and then we have our higher aspects. So say, for instance, at one point, Augustine, they said he was my ultimate guardian,
Yes.
and but at the same time he's a higher he and Isabel are the higher aspect of myself.
Yes. They share they show me a picture of working, but not in that way. They are guide, they are also teacher. When you do different tasks here, they are there to assist you with what you focus on just in that moment. So they can take whatever form they want. So if you're writing, they assist you with that. If you try to give healing to others, they assist you with that. Whatever you focus on, they are there for you.
You just say give healing, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so is it, but both of their energies combined literally focus their energy into what's considered Henry or Hank to manifest as me and as one. Is that correct?
Yes, and also to reconnect to what you are, because as you say, you are a soul, you are not a body. This is just a vessel you take on when you manifest to be able to do this, to go through these celestial bodies also. They are going to go in with this higher frequency and dimension to help people transcend and release all low density they're keeping on to.
The last time that we came together, Ka came to pick you up.
Yeah.
Or you actually, or Sandra picked you up to take you, and you ended up with Ka.
Yeah.
Where was Maya then? Just curious.
She said, I was here. I'm always with you.
Oh, very good. And what about Augustine and Isabel? Are they there as well?
Maya says, sure they are, but I can't see them. But they're always here when you're doing this.
Well, I'd like them actually to come forward if they will.
Yes. Yes, they're coming.
Are they coming as one or coming in two forms?
They first at one, but they're separated now, so there are two different vibrations.
Oh, very good. And I just, out of curiosity, Do they know what my concerns are right now? Maya, not Maya, well, even Maya, but Augustine and Isabel.
They say that there are many concerns.
But do they don't know what my concerns about these sessions that we're doing are?
They don't say anything.
And what about Maya? Nothing at all.
Why do you have any concern at all, is the message I get.
Well, I have a series of questions unless they had something to share first.
The suspicious in human nature is just holding you down, holding you to low vibration, so it's good if you can release that. It's have the same effect that fear can have.
Is that how they interpret what I'm thinking? Or that's just their interpretation of what they think I may be thinking?
It was just that message they gave to me.
Okay. So, my
Suspicious is not good.
my
Maya saying to me, suspicious is not good.
my first thought is it possible to change your contract, or we're going to use the word contract for lack of a better word, or the mission that we chose, or our intentions and reasons for coming to the planet, and not like the overall mission or what the reason, such as helping the planet in the process, but the particular